Hello YouTube, I am Arn Peter, and today I'd like to make another tutorial talking about debugging. Specifically, today I'd like to talk about debugging on the web using the GameMaker HTML5 extension. So what do I mean by this? So I have my basic shooting game that I've been using as an example. And let's say I want to, every time I fire, I want to show a message saying shoot. Alright, so I play, and when I play it, every time I shoot a bullet, it should say shoot in my little window down here. And it does. Alright, so let's say you're having some issues specific to your HTML5 version. So I often have issues with HTML5 because it is a fairly unstable extension. So there's a lot of issues you need to fix there. So every now and then you'll have an issue specific to HTML5 and you need to debug it in there. So let's say I have the same thing and I press space. And where does this information show up? So, you know, it doesn't show up in here anymore. Where does it show up? So this is a little bit frustrating. If you're, working with web development or something like that, the way you would debug issues like this, like on my website, aaronpeter.com, if I have an issue with my JavaScript for changing these buttons, the way I would do it is I would do console.logs in my JavaScript code, and then those will show up if I go to my debugger in my browser. So in Chrome, my debugger, I can go to that by pulling up my settings, go to more tools, and opening up developer tools. So then if I do any console.logs, it would show up in this debugger right here. So what I really want is for GameMaker to show them the show debug messages in here. But if you look over here, and if we go to more tools and developer tools, you'll notice that it doesn't work. If I shoot, it doesn't show up in there. So today I'm going to show you how to do that. How can you make it show up in here so you can more easily debug your HTML5 games. Okay, so first we're going to need to write some JavaScript. So over on my desktop, I'm going to create a new text document, and we'll call it I don't know, debug.js, or we're debugging.js. No, debug.js. Debug.js, debug.javascript. Change the file name extension. Yes, I do want to change it. Yep, because it needs to be JavaScript. I'm going to edit it with my current code editor that I like, which is Visual Studio Code. And we're going to write some JavaScript. And let's see if I can do this without looking it up. So I want to write two functions, one for logging, one for alerts. So in my debugging tutorial, I talked about show debug message, which prints messages to the console, and then I talk about show message, which will actually stop the game and give you a pop-up window, and you press OK to make those go through. So this is all GameMaker, right? In JavaScript, there's some similar variations. JavaScript, for show debug message, that'll be console.log. I believe that's how you write the case. I think it's capital C, but I'll find out soon enough if it's not. And then the show message, that's alert. So you can say do that type of deal in JavaScript. Maybe it's, well, I guess we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to write two functions, one for logging, one for alerts. So let's write the alert first, because I feel more sure about the syntax of that one. So function alert str, and we're going to take our str as an input for the function, and then we're going to do alert str. Fairly basic. Why are you showing this red? Parameter declaration expected. Okay, well, anyway. Then we're going to write another one called log str, var str, and then we're going to say alert str. Oh, sorry. Console.log. I'll try OKC. Alright, I'm not sure why this is showing up all red, but I guess we'll see. I might need to re-record this if it's turned out to be really terrible. Alright, so here's JavaScript code. I have two functions, and I want to be able to call these functions from GameMaker. So the way I do that, go into GameMaker. I'm just going to close out this stuff a little bit. I'm going to create an extension, and I'm going to call this the extension Web Debugging. Alright, I'm going to hit create. Alright, I have this extension. Then within that extension, I'm going to add a file, and I'm going to add that debug.js. Cool. And then in here, I'm going to add a function. So I'm just going to name this the same that I named them in the file. So I have alert string str. It doesn't have a return type. Can I do a void in here? No, I can't. Oh, it doesn't matter. Alright. This does not have variable length arguments. I'm going to add input parameters. Okay, so here are the input parameters. The first is a string, and that's all we need. Now we add another function called log str. We've got that, and no name. And again, I'm going to add an argument. It's going to be a string. Alright, so this should be all you need to do to implement them. So we just have it takes a string, doesn't really return anything, but guess, oh well, it doesn't hurt. And this is the name of the function in the file, so you can find it like that. Alright, so now in our shooter, when we want to shoot something, we can do an if statement. We can say if OS type equals OS. Okay, we need some help here. Browser, and show me options there. Browser, not a browser. That's it. Okay. So if it's not a browser, we do it this way. Else, we do log str, and notice it gets highlighted because we've just imported it. And I'm gonna say shoot. All right. Let's try this out again, and hopefully, if I did everything correct, fingers crossed, this will debug. This will print a shoot in the console. And at the very least, it'll give me an error telling my JavaScript sucks. So, some more tools. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but I'm using Chrome. If you want to do it in your own favorite browser, you can look up the developer tools. Most browsers do have that, so you should be fine. Uncaught syntax error, expected token bar. Alright, my JavaScript sucks. I'm gonna pause for a second and figure out what I did wrong. Alright, based on my preliminary research, it has told me that I don't need these vars there. Oh, okay, I guess that's all it needed. That's odd. Let's see if that worked. Oh, and I didn't even shoot last time, so it wouldn't have shown up anyway, I suppose. But, and it gave me an error. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, more tools. Developer tools. Still giving me an error. Interesting. And it's giving me more errors. What's going wrong? Log str is not defined. It's highlighted though. How could it not be defined? Okay, I figured it out. After making that change to the file where I took away the vars, I had to reload it into GameMaker. So that's a good thing to know. So when you make changes to the files, you're not actually changing it to GameMaker, because as soon as you import it into GameMaker, GameMaker makes its own local copy. So yeah. So anyway, now I'm in the same situation. I have my game open and I have my debugger tool, and when I press space, it does print shoot, and I can keep track of things that way. So that is a very useful tool when if you're making HTML5 applications in GameMaker. You now have the ability to debug them. So that is all for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it useful, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. So see you later. Just minutes after recording that tutorial, I found out the way GameMaker intended you to do it, which was not using console.log. So if you run HTML5 in debug mode, it'll come up with this log here, and I can do clear console. And if I do show debug message, it will show up in here. Okay, so there you go. That's, I guess, the intended way to do it. But oh well, now you still learned how to implement JavaScript in GameMaker. So it's a cool trick anyway. Hope you found it useful.